This is the worst rain in the history of this whole general area.
Sun is taking out here. I can even see it. But here, the pipe is elevated. The reason is because between here and a certain point down there, we could not dig because of the amount of stone. And this right here is a vent. And we will have a pipe going up here and venting some water to this area community here. And we might even have water continuously flowing out where the passerby can drink, wash, whatever, because we do need this vent because of the elevation that is made. This has taken 11 months to dig. This is the depth where we should have been, way down here. But there is just a complete bed of rock from here down to a certain distance from here that we couldn't possibly dig it. And of course there is no heavy equipment to use this depth. So that's why it's all done by hand. Corridor and entrance to our miracle spot. This spot right here is where that huge stone was, and it really stopped us from working. Here is a part of it. This piece right here is a tiny chunk of that huge piece that God himself moved out of this hole for us. What happened is we tried every possible way to find means to break that stone. We had burnt lots of tires on it. We have built lots of fire. Nothing would crack it. Then finally Mark came from the U.S. and brought some drill. It's as long as he can possibly find, I think. And he drilled it, and we were sure by hitting through, after the drill is taken out, other metal is stuck in it and hit, and a lot of strength have been invested in it. This stone will not crack. And finally, we had committed it to the Lord. Sometimes I even came and see if it had melted, because I just knew the Lord would not let this stone be a real stumbling stone to us and not have us do the work that we need to do. So finally, Demi and Mark decided to go around it, which would technically slow down the flow of water, or technically it is not desired way of doing it. But that turned out to be the only way we could do it, because we could not move this stone. And there was no way we could find the dynamite, because it's against the government law for civilians to use dynamite. And we did tell lots of people to pray about this stone and to tell us what they know, how we could get rid of it. So finally, when we were going to start going around it on Saturday, Thursday morning, I saw a truck in our compound. At first, I thought this early somebody came to ask for a favor, and then a sweet spirit came upon me, and I said, this is wrong for me to feel that way. No matter what time they come, I should just be joyful and happy to serve the Lord, whatever it is that we should do for that person. And I went over and asked this person, what can I do for you? And with a big smile that wasn't there before, but the Lord really put in me. And he said, well, I just came to see this rock you have problem with. I said, and he said, so-and-so told me to go and look at that rock and see if you can help him. I said, I'm sorry, sir. Nobody sent you but God. God sent you. So come, let me show you. By then, Demi was already working up by the spring, so Demi wasn't nearby. So I brought this man and showed him, and he said to me, oh, by noon, you will be shoveling out this stone. I said, how can that be? He said, oh, I'll blow it up. And just, by 11:30, I'll be back, and by 12 noon, we will blow it. And he said, it will become a gravel. So I said, well, that sounds just great. You are God sent, because by Saturday, we were going to start going around it. So we went up to the spring and found Demi and told him the good news. Neither one of us could really believe it. On the other hand, we knew the Lord could do it and will do it, because we have been waiting on the Lord. So it didn't happen by noon, but by 5 o'clock that afternoon on Thursday, they had stuck one dynamite and have blown through these pieces. This is the one piece we couldn't take out of here, but we don't have to take it out. Stone is very long. I just wish I was able to take the time to write what the Lord has done in this community. The story of this stone is just one of the examples that in this hall for 11 months we had problems facing us. Every day we came and looked at it. We tried every way, but that Thursday morning God sent this man, and this stone did get blown by 5 o'clock. This is the one piece we couldn't take out. of course we have to pull everything by hand from here up there, and you can imagine how difficult it must be. But there is other pile that you will see. But the story is the part that now, as I said, this is one of the pieces we couldn't take out, but there are other pieces like this one here. You can see the length of it. It's almost more than half of my height, that there is no way we can lift up. And then, of course, there is further down, which we don't need to bother with. But the part about this stone that I would really like all our friends to know about is, no matter how big our rock is, no matter how difficult and how impossible it is to do anything with it humanly, in God's timing, all our rocks will be moved by His power. We are powerless, but He is powerful. We are unable to do, as far as moving this stone is concerned, we have been completely unable to do anything about it. But in God's timing, in God's given moment, this stone that has been a stumbling stone to us for 11 months, has delayed us from getting the pipe through here, was blown up to pieces so we can handle it. God could do that for every stumbling stone that's before our life. That's the lesson I have learned. And I'm still asking the Lord, Lord, have we learned all the lessons you wanted us to learn from this stone being here? I'm quite sure we haven't. But since we will never forget this stone, the lesson will continue to be learned in our life. And that's why I like to share it with our friends, so that any stumbling stone in their life can also be removed by God in God's time. Let's go and look at the other pieces of stone. God is able to break up to pieces like this and show us the pile of the stumbling stones that we have in our life. I tell you, I learned so much more lesson from this stone than I believe what I've learned in most of my life. Although there have been many, many, many stumbling stones in the midst in my life, and God has crumbled them all, just like this. It's amazing. It's not a small amount of stone that's here. You see? It is a big pile. This was all one piece. This was all one piece. But you see, God is able. The problem is God's timing and our timing. My timing was last year about this time to have seen this stone in this pile. But God knew we would not have learned the lesson we've learned had He removed it right then. We had to watch this thing for 11 months before us in one piece and say to ourselves, there is no way this thing can crumble. Finally, when we said there is no way and decided to go around it, which would have made it very, very difficult for our work. When we decided to go around it on Saturday, God sent somebody to our doorstep Thursday morning. What does that say to you about your God? We do have a great God. It's just a matter of us being able to take that waiting time he gives us. That waiting time is the problem. That waiting time is the final answer to God's plan. So here it is in thousands of pieces right before our eyes in God's timing. Thank you so much. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a draining pipe. In other words, it drains this container when we need to clean it. Now, this is an overflow pipe. In other words, if we happen to have too much water, this would continuously overflow. Hopefully that doesn't happen because we'll be using lots of water and so many people down there. Now this is the main line. After the water gets filtered out there, then to the next stage, then to the last stage, this is the filtered water that comes into this container. Then it comes out of here. This is the control valve. So it comes out of here and continues something like 2.5 kilometers down the here. But we will start giving clean water. Thank God, every time I say that, I get so excited about it. Here is a pipe right down here, this black pipe here. Thank God for that provision also. This particular one feeds the neighborhood here. They used to get this water from right down the ground, and still they had a much cleaner water than the others. So that's where their water will come from. Then we have, of course, a spout way out there, so they have a faucet they can open and close whenever they want to. We're even thinking that we will let it continue to flow in there. Now, here is what needed to be done to raise the pipe this way. Plenty of water. This is a lot of water. It's a lot more than what our village people need for right now, but I really believe it would serve us into several years from now when the community grows. See, and it's such a beautiful water that, oh, it's beautiful. It's nice and cool, and it comes from the mountain. It's a beautiful stream. There is more. There is another one right here. And then there is two more down there. So it's 4 of them. Say thank you. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you. Thank you to everyone in your family. Not only your children and your children's children, even the animals that grow in your family, your cats and your dogs, may they even be blessed. May they ever remain beautiful, for you have been opposed to bring this beautiful drinking water to this community. Jeanette, we think of you. Russell, we think of you. We think of your children every day that we labor out here. You gave us such a great opportunity. We're not laboring, we're enjoying it. It may be uncomfortable, but that doesn't matter. We're ever grateful for all you've done and for all you'll do. This water here is going to save many lives. A cup of water in the name of Jesus, you're giving millions and millions of cups every day, every hour, for many, many years to come to this community. Every penny has been used so very carefully, so prayerfully. We actually did with our own hands most of the work here. Them may work day in and day out. Every time he is here, he's working so that we don't have to pay contractors, since we know just exactly what needed to be done, and we have technical advice. And the labor work we've done, but we've done it with joy. And because of that, we've been able to save a lot of money that it would have cost us had we given it to contractors. I wish you could see this before it's all covered, but you can't. So I'll try to save some of it via this video for you and your family. Please share and thank God for having used you in such a just undescribable way. This water is beautiful water.
እግዚአብሔር አምላኬ ሆይ ወደ አንተ መጥተን በጠየቅነው ጥያቄ ሁሉ አላሳፈርከንም። ልመናችንን ሁሉ ሰምተሃል። እግዚአብሔር አምላኬ ሆይ እያንዳንዲቱ ስምንት የሆነች ነገር እንኳ እግዚአብሔር ሆይ አንተ አልረሳሃትም። በፊትህ ያልታሰበ ምንም ነገር የለም። በእውነት ልመናችንን ሰምተህ በዚህ ጊዜ ስላስደሰትከን በኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ስም እናመሰግናለን።